Hey guys, and welcome to another FIFA 13 Virtual Pro tutorial. So this time, as you can see, we're making Xabi Alonso from Real Madrid. Very good player indeed. Kind of got the similar style to Pirlo. So you know, this is the kind of Spanish counterpart, I guess. Anyway, let's get straight into this then. So you can see here, quite a number of his features have been kind of made to match, obviously, as close as possible. You know, the sort of jawline, you've got the lips, the nose as well as the profile from the side. And like the hair was one of these things, again, like I say, every episode, it's getting harder and harder to pick, you know, good looking hair. But I think there's only two options that could look good on Xabi Alonso. This is the best one, which you'll find under the medium hairstyles. And if you just go up here, there's quite a few bad ones, but bangs clean is the best one that you can use here. Also, you could go into short and try the short puff, which looks okay as well, but like I said, I think within the medium hairstyle, go for bangs clean. That's the best one. Then looking at hair color, again, you can think about the tones, but I think it's fairly kind of darkish, so something like this, like the first brown, is a good color to choose. Facial hairstyle, again, if you're going to go for the Liverpool version, then just keep it clean shaven, but the casual beard is the one that you want, of course. That is what he's been pulling off, you know, over the last few years since going to Real Madrid. Also, the facial hair color, keep it this very kind of, this dark blonde almost. I was thinking to make it ginger because his beard seems to be slightly ginger, and if you want to go for the kind of over the top extreme look, then that's the one you want to go for. But for something a bit more el natural, then go for the dark blonde. I think it looks quite nice. So I'm going to run through some of these options here without kind of going into too much detail, but just the eyes and stuff, just the shaping, slightly larger and angled a little bit as well. Very folded because he is aged, isn't he? He's not the youngest player, so he's got very kind of folded eyelids. Protrusion didn't really change. Made him look like he was squinting a little bit, simply because, you know, I think that's the kind of look that he goes for, a kind of a squint. So something around here is a good value to choose. And the eye color again, I was toying between like this one here and that one, but I think the brown is the correct one to go for again. Complexion, of course, is this first one, the very lightest. Browser didn't really change a lot, no high or low. You could push it down slightly if you want to give it, I mean, that actually looks quite good, to be fair, so maybe push it down slightly. The brow shape up slightly as well, so you don't want it kind of angled down too much because he doesn't look like that, does he? So just very, very slightly push it up and make it thick as well. Make the eyebrows thick. Ears I didn't touch at all, but again, I normally add an earlobe just so it makes the ear a little better shaped. Now the nose was needed a bit of tweaking, so we made it wide as possible and also pushed it high slightly because his nose is a little short. And also the sort of tip of his nose was as wide as possible and just pulled it down to make it a little higher as well, so it points up slightly. Nose style didn't really need to affect that at all. Protrusion shape was a bit to the left, so it's going in slightly. And then the nose tip as well, because we don't want it to stick out that much, so we just pulled that in so it's a bit more, or it's a bit better basically, like that. Nostrils were very narrow indeed and high as well. And nostril detail here, just wide slightly. The cheek placement, pretty much didn't change that. I thought it was pretty good the way it was. And the cheek style, just making it slightly fuller. Don't want it to look too thin, because he's got a bit of fat on his cheeks, I guess, or a bit of shape to his face. The mouth again, high, quite high, not all the way, but just below. And the protrusion is slightly out and under a little bit as well. So a little bit to the right and a little bit down. The lips are fairly thin. You know, he's not got thick lips. They are quite thin, so I just kind of thinned those out a little bit. You could make them thicker if you wanted to, but you can see how quickly it stops looking like him. I mean, something like that actually looks quite nice as well. So you can kind of just tweak it a little bit to your liking. But something like this, I think, is a good amount. Just down slightly. The lip style as well, just pull it down. Don't want him to smile because Xabi Alonso is a very serious looking guy. So just pull it down slightly so it looks a little bit more serious. And then the jaw as well. So the jaw has to be wide and low because it's got quite a square jaw here. Nothing too high. And that's all that you really need to change there. Possibly make it a little fuller as well, just below, like the bulk of his neck, of his kind of jaw below. It needs to be a little fuller. Just very slightly though. And the chin needs to be longer and slightly square as well as protruded out slightly. So just so it adds the shape and makes it look a little bit more accurate. Now, what's important about making Xabi Alonso here is that you have to ensure that he is kind of ignore this stuff here and the heights, because you know you'd probably want to change that anyway. But the body type needs to be average. That's very important. Else he'll look way too thin, and his head will kind of pop out from his neck a bit too much. Actually, he's not that short, is he? He's probably around 6 foot. So yeah, you can see how he looks like that. So it's a lot better. You want to go for this one, I think, is the best options that you can choose to make Xabi Alonso. And hopefully you guys agree that it looks like him. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this episode. And you know, if you think it looks like Xabi Alonso, even in the slightest, then please drop a like to this video and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to have tons more content coming out later this week. So stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you all in the next video.